Lizzie here, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm continuing my Staying in Shape over the summer series with a point class for beginners. Now, even though I just said this is a point class for beginners, even if you're not a beginner on point, you can still do this class if you're coming back from like some kind of injury, or you just kind of want to go back to the basics, or you just want to do a beginner point class for like a warm-up at home or something. So yeah, so all these exercises we are going to be doing at the bar. We're not going to be doing anything in the center, and they're going to be fairly simple. And because they're for like this is mostly targeted at beginners, this is going to be a lot of strengthening. It's kind of like, it's going to be sort of similar to my pre-point class, which will be in the upper hand corner of the screen, by the way. Like I said, it's going to be pretty similar to that, except instead of doing it on flat, you're going to do this in point shoes, obviously. But yeah, so without any further ado, let's just get into the video. Okay, so for the first exercise, we are going to do a pretty simple warm-up. So you're just going to walk through your feet. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to plie, rise up to releve. Your feet are still parallel. You're going to plie while you're on releve, plie, and then straighten. And then you're going to go into first position. You're going to repeat that. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you're going to go to second. But instead of doing the feet walkthroughs in second, you're just going to do the second part, which is the plie, releve, and then you're actually going to balance in second position for 8 counts, and then you are going to go down. And if you're feeling up for it, you can also repeat this combination, so you just do the whole combination twice if you're feeling up for that. If not, you can just do it once, but I would recommend doing this twice. So again, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And by the way, the music is pretty slow, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so for our second combination, we are going to do a fairly slow tendu combination. So you are going to start in first position. You're going to go 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So basically what you're doing here is you are tenduing, and then you're going to bend your leg, and then put your weight on this front leg. And then you're going to tendu back, and you go 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So that is not a full point, that is actually a demi point. And then you're going to repeat this side. So 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And I'm going to go to the side so you can see what I'm doing to the back, because this is the trickier one. So you're going to go back, and then you are going to put so when you're doing this to the back, your weight is mostly on your like big toe. So if my big toe is right here, it's mostly going to be on the big toe. Your other toes are not on the ground. You don't go like this on point or something like that. So you want to make sure that it's just your big toe there. And then straighten, and then close, and then 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So again, it's pretty simple. You're actually not going to go to the side. So you're going to go and do that front, side, and back. And you're not going to do it to the side again. You're actually going to now do it on the other leg. So again, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. I did the counts wrong there, but just ignore that. 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So if you watched my pre-point video, which I talked about earlier in this video, you'll probably remember this exercise because it's basically the same exercise from that video, except we're doing it wearing point shoes instead of flat shoes. So for this one, you're going to start in 5th position and go 1 and 2 and 3, open tendu 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3, open 4, close to front, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, actually I lied. You go to the back on the first time, so then you go front and back. I lied. I lied about that, I'm sorry. And then you're going to do that to the back. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3, close to the back, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So the reason why we're closing back there is so that we have this leg in the front so we can go directly to the other side. So basically you are just going to wrap your foot, put it down, wrap your foot close to the front, and you're going to close to tendu, and then you're going to do 2 tendus. And then you do that to all of the sides. Okay, so moving on to actually doing some releves, you are going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to plie in first, you're going to come up to first on releve, and then you're going to go demi-pointe, and down. Then you're going to repeat that again. So you're doing that 2 times. Then you're going to go to second. You're going to go do the same thing. So plie, demi-pointe, and down, plie, releve, and you're actually going to bounce here for a couple of counts. And then you're going to come down, and you're going to repeat the combination. So basically 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So it's a little bit fast. It's not super fast, I don't think, but it is faster than the previous combination. So just keep that in mind while you're doing this. Okay, so now we're going to do yet another tendu combination, and I know that you're probably wondering why we're doing so many tendu combinations, but the thing is that when you're on point, especially when you're a beginner, it's just as important to know how to work through your shoes, through tendus and like frappes and stuff like that, as it is to be able to do a bunch of releves. Although releves, definitely very important to be able to do, especially how to do them right. So you're going to start in 5th position, and again, like I said with like the third combination, I believe this is going to be this combination is probably familiar to you if you watched my pre-point video. So you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, place it down, and 7 and 8. And 1, and close back, and 2, close front, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So for the, for 4th position is probably one of the hardest feet positions to do in ballet, so you need to make sure you're doing this right. So with 4th position, you don't want your 4th position to be too wide, because you aren't going to be able to jump from 4th or do a pirouette when your 4th position is this wide. And if you do it like this, that's basically just like a 5th position. That's a really bad 5th position. For 4th position, you want to be able to sit like right on top of it. So you should probably have it about like this, or as much as, or like the length of how wide your 4th position is. You should be able to sit comfortably, as comfortable as ballet is, that is, like on top of your hips. So you don't want it to be like this, and you don't want it to be like this. So this should be fine. And this especially goes for the back, because the back is probably the hardest. I feel like anything about ballet is harder to the back for some reason. It's just a thing. So again, you don't want it to be like that. You don't want it to be like that. You just want it to be just like this. And then once you're done, so basically, so let me do the back one more time. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So you're basically, after you do the back, you're going to plie, you're going to rise up to releve, and then you are going to balance here so you can repeat to the other side. Okay, so for this next combination, we are again going to start in fifth position. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So basically, you're going to go plie in fifth. You're going to tendu to the front. Your supporting leg is still bent. You're going to rise up into fifth position on releve, susu. I don't know why I said fifth position on releve. And then you're going to come back down. And then you're going to repeat that to the side. You're going to close back when you're going to the side the first time. So you can go to the back, obviously. And then when you go to the side the second time, you're actually going to close to the back again. And then you are going to balance here for a couple of counts so you can go directly to the other side. So basically it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And my leg is to the front. I meant to put it to the back, but I think you get the combination. So, so the important thing is when you go from here to susu is you want to do that very quickly. You don't want this to be like, you don't want to do like, this is still getting there. You want them to both close to susu at the same time. There's no delay here. You just want to go directly into susu. So again, do not do any delay here. You don't want to go like, no, you don't do that. If you do that, you're never going to be able to rise up quickly. You want to be able to quickly squeeze into susu. So one quick balancing tip for balancing when you are in susu that I forgot to mention in the last combination is if you ever feel pretty wobbly when you're trying to balance in here, try to straighten your leg, your back leg as much as you can, because that is more of your support leg. Like obviously you want both of your legs to be pretty straight, but you really want to straighten out this back leg because that is the one giving you a lot of support. Because if it's not very supportive, then that's likely where you're going to fall backwards or forwards. So if you need to just like figure out how to balance better, just straighten your leg. Even if you think it's already super straight, just straighten it more and you will get better balance. So that's actually going to be useful because this next combination doesn't have any releve balances, at least not on susu, but it does have a balance in coupe. So for this combination, you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I did that wrong. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, close back, and 8. And then you're going to repeat that to the back. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, balance 7 and 8. So I actually made a mistake while I was explaining this here. So actually, after you do the releves to coupe back, you actually do 4 relevés to coupe front again, and then you balance in coupe front before you repeat to the other side. So I accidentally did that wrong. So yeah, sorry for the mistake there. And again, with this one, a good idea to be a good tip for balancing is even if you think this supporting leg is already straight, straighten as much as you can, and that will probably help you balance. It's not the only thing that's going to help you balance, but that is part of it. Another thing that's going to help you balance is to have a nice upper body, as always. And then after you do the balance, you already have this leg front, so you can go directly to the other side. Okay, so for this last combination, it is pretty slow. So you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you're kind of holding it up there. So it's a fast releve to passe, and then you kind of hold it up there for a couple seconds, and it slowly drifts down your leg. So you go to the front, and then you're going to go to the back. Well, you're going to go from the front to the back and then back to the front. And then there's a couple seconds of just waiting, which it's just the music I picked for this is kind of slow, and there wasn't really anything I could put there. So there's just that one part where it's just like no music, or there's nothing you're doing. So you're kind of just going to hold there for a couple seconds. And then you're going to do the same thing again. And then as you drift down to you're going to end in plie, and you're going to have your leg coupe to the back. And this last passe is going to be slower, so you can take extra time to hold it up here, even test your balance if you want to. And then you're going to drift down into into pique coupe back. I'm losing my brain cells, I'm sorry. And then you're going to do a pas de bourrée. So if you watched, so basically for the pas de bourrée, the thing is here you want to go sharp, sharp, down. Sharp, sharp, down. It's a very slow roll down to really work through your muscles. So you don't want that to be just like a really quick down. You want it to go very slowly. So sharp, sharp, down. Sharp, sharp, down. And then once you are here, you're going to repeat that to the other side. So again, very slow, it's very slow, so at any point in the combination, I would recommend trying to test your balance because, like I said, it's a very slow combination because of the music I picked. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But anyways guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to consider liking and subscribing to see more content like this on my channel. And if you enjoyed, please check out the top line of the description down below, because that is the link to my website on Wix.com, which I really recommend you guys checking out. But anyways guys, I hope you have a great day, night, afternoon. Bye guys!